So what really makes something valuable? Is it the actual materials, the incredible craftsmanship, or is it just a story we tell ourselves? We're going to dive into that by looking at a luxury shoe launch that wasn't just some big marketing event. It was a brilliant, hilarious prank designed to completely mess with our whole idea of what value even means. Okay, so picture this. You're at this super exclusive invite-only party. The champagne is flowing, the lighting is perfect, and a major fashion influencer picks up this slick pair of sneakers. They feel the material, turn it over in their hands, and say, this. They are 100% convinced of its quality. I mean, why wouldn't they be? Everything about the event is screaming luxury. And the setting? It was absolutely perfect. A super chic boutique in Santa Monica, California, in a space that, get this, used to be an Armani store. The whole showroom was decked out with gold mannequins, these elegant winged statues, even a little runway. Every single detail was designed to just ooze luxury, and the influencers who were flown in for this grand opening, they were totally eating it up. And they were more than happy to open their wallets for it. People were eager to be dropping hundreds of dollars on these new Palessi shoes. One pair of sneakers actually sold for a wild $645. To them, they weren't just buying shoes. No, they were investing in the next huge name in high fashion. And then, the punchline. Right after the influencers proudly handed over their credit cards, the big secret was revealed. Palessi was a complete fake. The so-called Italian designer, Bruno Palessi, totally made up. Every single shoe in that fancy store was from the discount chain Payless. You know, the ones that usually sell for maybe 20, 40 bucks. They were completely and utterly pranked. So let's talk about hacking your perception. Now, don't worry, the influencers did get all their money back. But the stunt left everyone with this huge question. What just happened here was a masterclass in messing with what marketers call perceived value. I mean, seriously, how do you fool the people whose entire job is to know fashion? How do you get them to rave about a $20 shoe and then pay 30 times what it's actually worth? Well, the answer is all about a really powerful psychological trick. It all comes down to this idea of perceived value. And what's so wild about this concept is that we almost never judge a product on its own. Nope, we judge it based on its surroundings, on the context. A fancy store makes us expect a quality product, so our brain just kind of fills in the blanks and perceives it as a quality product. Payless didn't change the shoes at all. They just changed the environment. And by doing that, they changed our expectation. And this, right here, lays out the whole trick so perfectly. On one side, you've got the illusion, Palessi in that old Armani space with a fancy VIP party. On the other side, you've got the reality. Payless in a strip mall, probably with a buy one, get one sale going on. And the product, the actual shoes, they are the exact same. The only thing that changed was the story, the context, what designers call the atmospherics. Which brings us to the guerrilla marketing playbook. Now, this whole prank wasn't just some clever one-off stunt. It's actually a textbook example of a bigger strategy called guerrilla marketing. It's this unconventional way of grabbing your attention when you are least expecting it. Think about it. We've all got this built-in ad radar in our brains, right? That mental filter that just automatically tunes out commercials, billboards, and online ads. Well, guerrilla marketing is all about sneaking past that filter. It uses surprise and creativity instead of a giant budget to make a brand's message stick with you. And this strategy has a few different flavors. You've got astroturfing, which is basically faking a grassroots movement to create hype. Then there's ambient marketing, which is when a company turns something normal, like a bus stop, into a surprising ad. And then you have ambush marketing, which is all about cleverly hijacking a competitor's big event. But the goal for all of them, it's always the same: catch you totally by surprise. Okay, let's look at the secrets of top brands. The Palessi prank is far from being an isolated incident, and this is where it gets really interesting. Once you know this playbook, you'll start to see these tactics being used by some of the biggest brands in the world. Let's dig into a few classic examples. All right, first up, Red Bull's launch in London. So they were coming into a really crowded market with this kind of weird-tasting drink in a tiny little can. Instead of blowing millions on billboards that everyone would just ignore, they came up with a simple, brilliant plan that started with, of all things, garbage cans. This is just a perfect example of manufacturing what's called social proof. The idea is simple. If we think everyone is doing something, we want to do it too. By just littering the streets of London with empty cans, Red Bull created this illusion of massive popularity. People would walk by and think, wow, everyone must be drinking this stuff. And pretty soon, a completely manufactured trend became a very real one. Now, for a totally different kind of guerrilla tactic. Back at the 2019 Golden Globes, Fiji Water didn't buy a single TV commercial. Nope. Instead, they just hired a model and gave her a tray full of water bottles. And this move was absolutely genius. By strategically placing the Fiji girl in the background of literally hundreds of celebrity photos, the brand photobombed its way into the global spotlight. This taps into something called the halo effect. The idea that if we like one thing, like, say, glamorous celebrities, that positive feeling just kind of rubs off on anything associated with it, like the water bottle in the background. Fiji totally stole the show without paying a dime for sponsorship. But guerrilla marketing isn't always about these psychological tricks. Sometimes the most clever tactic is to solve a real, actual problem, but in a really surprising way. Domino's figured out a problem we all hate: hitting a pothole on the drive home and ruining your pizza. So they launched Paving for Pizza, where they literally went around fixing roads in different towns to make sure your pizza had a smoother ride. It was quirky, it was genuinely helpful, and it got them a ton of positive press, all while connecting your brand to a real solution for their customers. So, is luxury just a story? I mean, from fake shoes to fixing roads, what do all these tactics really tell us about the brands we spend our money on? Man, that quote really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The Palesi stunt kind of rips the curtain back and shows us that luxury is often built more on smoke and mirrors than on the actual product. It proves that a lot of the time, we're not buying a better item, we're just buying a better story. So what's the big lesson here for all of us? Well, first, remember that context is king. The same exact shoe feels completely different in a luxury boutique than it does in a discount store. Second, brands sell stories. You're almost always buying into a narrative, not just the physical item. And finally, look beyond the label, because as the Palesi prank proved, even the experts can be totally fooled by some clever packaging. But here is the final crucial twist in the story. The Palesi campaign was a huge viral success. It got millions of views. It made its point brilliantly. But just a few months later, Payless filed for bankruptcy for the second time. Turns out, one clever ad can't actually fix a broken business model. And that right there is the ultimate lesson. The prank showed us that a great story can sell a cheap product for a ton of money. But the bankruptcy showed us that a great story can't save a bad business. So that leaves all of us with one final question. The next time you're about to buy something, just ask yourself, are you really paying for the product, or are you just paying for the story?